Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a really important question for anyone holding crypto. How do you make your Bitcoin so secure that it's practically untouchable? We're going to explore some advanced security layers that are designed to protect your digital wealth from, well, pretty much everyone. And look, this isn't some theoretical threat we're talking about. This is real. You've got government agencies like South Korea's National Talk Service putting it out there in black and white. They plan to show up at people's homes and just take their crypto. This makes having a rock-solid security plan more critical than ever before. So, to fight back against threats like that, your security strategy really needs to focus on two core ideas. First, there's plausible deniability, which is all about making an attacker believe you either have no Bitcoin or that they've already gotten everything you have. And second, inability to comply. This is where you set things up so it's physically impossible for you to hand over your funds, even with a gun to your head. All right, here's our roadmap for this explainer. We're going to start by setting the stage, then level up through 3 layers of security, from the basics of privacy to building a full-on fortress. We've even got a wild Great Escape bonus level, and we'll wrap it all up with a practical blueprint you can actually use. First up, let's just take a moment to understand the threat. You know, we saw that quote from South Korea, and it really highlights that the risk isn't just some anonymous hacker in a basement anymore. Governments, who are always looking for more tax money, are now a huge part of the equation. So this isn't just about theft, it's about outright confiscation. And that's the new reality that makes all these security measures we're about to discuss not just a good idea, but absolutely essential. Okay, on to level 1, digital privacy. Think of this as your first, most important line of defense. The logic here is really simple. The absolute best way to protect your Bitcoin is to make sure nobody knows you have it to begin with. So let's look at how you can keep things private right from the get-go. This slide is super helpful because it lays out your options for buying Bitcoin without having to connect your personal identity to the transaction. You know, things like peer-to-peer platforms or even cash voucher systems are so powerful because they build in a layer of privacy from day one. They basically cut the cord between your regular financial identity and your crypto. But what if you've already bought Bitcoin on a regular exchange? Are you out of luck? No way. You can still seriously boost your privacy with a technique called CoinJoin. It's basically a big group transaction that mixes your transaction history with a bunch of other people, which scrambles everything up and makes your coins way, way harder to trace. And this shows you exactly how it works. I mean, think about it like this. A bunch of people throw their cash into a big pot. You give it a good shake, and then everyone takes out the same amount they put in. For anyone watching from the outside, it's going to be almost impossible to figure out which bills originally belonged to who. So with that privacy foundation nice and solid, we can move up to level 2. This is where we go from just being private to playing a bit of an active defense. We're talking about psychological misdirection. We're talking about the art of the decoy, or what's called plausible deniability. Now, the main tool for this trick is the passphrase. You might have heard it called the 25th word. It's this optional, totally custom word or phrase that you can add on top of your standard 24-word backup. And this little addition doesn't just act like a password, it actually creates a completely separate, totally hidden wallet. A really great way to picture this is to think of your normal 12 or 24-word seed phrase as the key to a big bank vault. But the passphrase, that's the key to a secret, hidden room inside that vault that nobody else even knows is there. So here's how this plays out in the real world. You put a small, believable amount of Bitcoin in that main wallet, the vault. Now, if an attacker forces you to give up your keys, you give them the standard 24 words. They open it up, they see the decoy funds, they think they've won, and they leave, totally clueless that your real stash is sitting safely in that hidden passphrase wallet. It's brilliant. Okay, now we're cranking it up to our final and most hardcore stage, level 3. The goal here completely changes. We're not using psychological tricks anymore. We're talking about physical impossibility. This is where you engineer a system that makes it physically impossible for you to follow an attacker's orders. This is where we build a true digital fortress. And this level uses some really advanced techniques. You've got things like a trick pin, which is like a secret self-destruct code for your hardware wallet that can wipe the device clean. There's seed XOR, which is a clever way to split your master key into pieces that are useless by themselves, but probably the most powerful tool in the shed for this is multisig. So let's really zoom in on multisig. Just like the name multi-signature suggests, it creates a vault that needs more than one key to approve any transaction. A really common and super secure way to set this up is called 2 of 3. And this visual explains it perfectly. Just imagine a bank vault with 3 different keyholes. To open it, you need to turn any 2 of the 3 unique keys at the same time. Now, what if you stored each of those 3 keys in a different city or even a different country? If someone puts a gun to your head in one location, you can look them in the eye and honestly say that you are physically unable to open the vault because you only have one of the required keys.
All right, for our bonus level, let's talk about something that sounds like it's straight out of a spy movie. This is for a true worst-case scenario. You need to flee a country and take your wealth with you, using nothing but your own memory.
This technique, often called a border wallet, starts by totally changing how you think about what a private key even is. So forget about trying to memorize a long, random list of words. That's nearly impossible. Instead of words, you just memorize a simple pattern or a shape. It could be the letter L or a smiley face, anything. That pattern is then drawn over a unique grid of words that you can regenerate from anywhere in the world. The pattern itself is your key. You can literally walk across any border with nothing on you, carrying your entire net worth completely undetected, just as a shape in your mind. It's wild. So, wow, we've gone all the way from digital privacy to clever decoys to unbreakable fortresses. But how do you actually put all this into practice? Let's try to boil all these ideas down into a simple, practical security blueprint of the essential do's and don'ts. Okay, first, the do's. You have to be prepared. Create clear, secure instructions so your family isn't left in the dark if something happens to you. Test your own recovery system at least once a year. You do not want to find out it doesn't work during an emergency. Make a habit of using privacy tools and try to get your Bitcoin privately in the first place. And above all, always have a contingency plan. And just as important are the things you should not do. The main idea here is to layer your security and avoid any single point of failure. Don't make your system so complicated that you end up locking yourself out. Don't keep all your keys and backups in the same place. That's just asking for trouble. Don't go around telling everyone how much you have, and never, ever rely on just one single security method. We have covered a huge amount of ground today, all the way from basic privacy tips to these mind-bending memory wallets. If there's one thing to take away from all this, it's that security isn't something you just buy off a shelf. It's a process. It's a journey of constantly learning and improving. So after seeing all these options, I'll leave you with this question. What's the first step you're going to take to level up your own security?